Run, 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 run.
A final goodbye to people who die with no one to claim them. These boxes hold the remains of North Carolinians whose families either couldn't be found or wouldn't, for whatever reason, take responsibility for their bodies when they died. So the state took possession of them, cremating them, then storing the ashes for 3 years. I joined the office of the chief medical examiner for its annual trip more than 3 miles off North Carolina's coast, where they scatter the remains in the Atlantic and give these people a final resting place.
Okay, well, like what else you hunt? He was like, I used to hunt people. Let them loose. And I think he said 1,000 acres in 24 hours. And go find them. Go hunt them down. And he was like, what you got to understand is what's legal and what's law is not the same thing. But this is a cop telling me this.
Age young men that are waltzing right into the country.
Wow. Hostile takeover?
And the president, they're saying the president of Spain is allowing it.
Yeah.
Strange creatures have been appearing all over the world.
What's good with the collective? Y'all know we back with another banger, another reaction. I appreciate everybody who's been tapping in, running up, and 7-up. If you new to the channel, please like, comment, subscribe. Hit that bell so you always notified whenever we drop them uploads. Y'all know we coming with about 4 videos very smooth, 7. This is for entertainment purposes as well. And when you like and comment and subscribe to the channel, helps Glad to grow, helps Glad to get bigger, helps more people who like this type of content tap in with this content. But I appreciate you watching your TV, whatever the case is. I wish it was smooth 7. Might be a trigger warning or 2. I hope not. Don't forget to like, share, and hype the video as well. But I seen some of y'all did your own little research, man. Some of y'all was like, bro, I seen you donated to your old high school. I did. That's crazy y'all really went and looked that damn far. And then I had to go ahead and post a video, like the footage of us doing it. But yeah, bro, we did do that. Reason why, because I seen some of y'all ask me, like, what made you want to do that? Bro, when you make it to a certain level, you don't never forget where you came from. And when I was at a certain level, I wish somebody at a certain level would come back and give us an opportunity. But nobody ever came. And nobody still had went back. So I was like, you know what? It's my opportunity to do it. My uncle used to always tell me we either got a choice to do or not. And people who don't, they give you a parameter of where not to go. And so when I seen nobody has went back to where I grew up at, I was like, bro, I gotta go back. So we went back. Donated to the school, bro. I had to look out for the youth. Starts there. Literally. But y'all let me know y'all thoughts, bro. Appreciate y'all. Y'all know what it is, though. Let's get straight to the video, man. Let's go.
O que tá acontecendo, pelo amor de Deus?
Anyone else find this creepy? A California startup company has revealed this new robot that is supposed to help with wildfires and stuff like that. But there is something very creepy about this robot. I mean, honestly, could you imagine this thing coming to you if there was like a natural disaster of some type? I mean, come on. This is the stuff that nightmares are made of, and it also looks like a certain something. I mean, seriously, if this thing came to me during a natural disaster, there is no way I would let this thing anywhere near me. Would you? Because you have to admit that this looks like something else entirely when you actually begin to look at this and begin to do your research. This is very creepy stuff. What do you think?
Multiple hailstorms are being recorded all over the world. Is this a sign of the end times? I don't know.
Shit look like the day after tomorrow, the movie. Somebody in that car? Why India get hit with heat waves or floods? Damn, he going by any means. That's crazy.
That is seen at this gas station near Atlanta. Police say a man was trying to that woman's child. He's seen chasing the kid as the mother uses a gas pump to hold him off. Witnesses then jumped in to help. In this video, now part of that police investigation, that man faces and other charges.
Damn. Glad they got his ass, man.
Saying a final goodbye to people who die with no one to claim them. These boxes hold the remains of North Carolinians whose families either couldn't be found or wouldn't, for whatever reason, take responsibility for their bodies when they died. So the state took possession of them, cremating them, then storing the ashes for 3 years. I joined the office of the chief medical examiner for its annual trip more than 3 miles off North Carolina's coast, where they scatter the remains in the Atlantic and give these people a final resting place.
Not sure why they're doing this, but I think they've been doing this, but the only thing I could think about is seafood. Shut up! People's ashes are being dumped into the ocean. But what if those animals in the ocean are eating it and then it comes to us, right, at the grocery store, and then we eat it? This is what people are saying. That's not true because there's a lot of salt in these oceans that disintegrate the ashes, right? And I don't even eat seafood like that, guys. Matter of fact, I think I do. I eat salmon and tuna fish every now and then. But something's going on here, bro. I'm not sure why they putting these ashes in the ocean like this. A lot of ashes, as you can see. But of course, guys, entertainment purposes only. I don't know who the hell these people are and why they doing this. Why they out there. I don't know who those people are that passed away and their ashes. Rest in peace to them. I don't know why they're doing that. Let me know if you know. I'm out.
Take a look at this footage. It was captured by an anonymous individual out of Mexico. They claim to have captured some sort of alien species watching them. Look closely, comment below, tell us what you think. But we need to ask, is this real? Maybe it's some sort of creature in the trees. Or could it really be extraterrestrial? With everything going on around us, we can't stop questioning and recording. Watch it again and be sure to comment your thoughts and tell us what you think.
First, what's y'all thoughts? What y'all think it is? Secondly, this for entertainment. What I'm about to say, it's not true. It's purely my opinion. What if there's a company that be in a lab somewhere and they create these things and they put them to the public? Some might have been here since since beginning of time. Some may not have. But it's just something to question. And they want to see how we react with living around these new things. They create so much bullshit, why wouldn't they? I'm just asking. Let me know. The clip before that, though. Supposedly, glitter is human remains or ashes also. This for entertainment. When we say it ain't true, what's your thoughts? Because, I mean, well, why would they dump it and get rid of it if they could use that for more glitter? Because, I mean, they use glitter for everything. I'm just asking. But what I'm saying ain't true. Let me know y'all thoughts, bro. Let me know y'all thoughts.
in Spain getting, I wouldn't even say they just let the borders open.
It's crazy. They're just pouring in.
It's pretty self-explanatory. They're just pretty much like, you see the border patrol agents and they're just holding the gate open. It's all war-age young men that are waltzing right into the country.
Wow. Hostile takeover?
And the president, they're saying the president of Spain is allowing it.
Yeah, I saw a video where it's just on the shoreline. You just see thousands and thousands of people just pouring in.
Organized. Who organized? This is like some BLM, George Soros type shit. Like, who organized this?
2.0. So it looks like a regime change or some type of overthrow of the country. And Spain's already broke.
So did everybody eat before they decided to trek on down? Or
they look well fed and hydrated to me.
This shit is.
I'm just saying.
It's like, here, get your meals. Here's a map.
You know what's weird too? I noticed the people that live in Spain, they had barbed wires around their balconies already. They were already prepared for this.
Okay.
Like, fuck this.
How did they know that?
Damn. And then they declared it a national state of emergency.
Yeah, they're in the streets with tanks right now.
Because of all these people?
Yeah. They're all coming from Morocco. You see people in the streets. Streets is on fire.
But what do you need the tanks for?
Seems like, I don't know. I would say performative.
Yeah, but it's orchestrated though. To the point of people already knowing, they already briefed them. Like, hey,
the barbed wires,
they're about to come over. You might want to throw it up. And then
it's crazy.
You're going to fight them, but then you already told everybody. Yeah, it's like a stage.
And then I see
another stage play.
The streets of London is going up too now. Because they said it's been a lot of immigration over there that's been just flooding London, and they say it's crazy over there right now. So
what's going on? What's the real basis behind it? That's what I'm wondering. Like, who's allowing?
Is it a part of the master plan?
Yeah, is it the NWO plan to where everywhere is in chaos? We want this immigration problem. Hey, guess what? Now we need surveillance.
Everybody's on the immigration thing.
It's all about surveillance.
That's what I'm saying.
It's about surveillance.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, yo, why are we're big on the immigration. They're big on the everybody's big on the immigration.
Everybody get on the call, all the world leaders. Hey, let's push this immigration thing because we want this surveillance system up by 2030.
Well, they didn't have to get on the call. They were all met up in China.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, hopped on the plane.
So when they were in that meeting, they're like, all right, so open your borders. We're going to open our borders and let's get it cracking.
Yeah, because it's the immigration problem. It's a problem solution type of scenario. They are orchestrating this to have mass surveillance in every single country. Because then, we need digital IDs. We need cameras everywhere.
Well, they already did that in the UK. Digital IDs.
Okay.
Yep.
It's already a thing.
My ministers will also proceed with the introduction of digital ID that will modernize how citizens interact with public services.
Here's another thing. What's going on right now in America?
The flock cameras.
Correct. And that's a psyop too.
Yeah, because the real shit is after the flock cameras. The flock cameras is just, but when we're gonna tear this down. Yeah, that's some bullshit, because after you do that, their AI will be in place completely and you're gonna have Minority Report.
And then what happens? We know the ultimate plan with the mass surveillance, digital IDs, social credit scores, bro. One world governments. What we saying ain't true. It's all made up. Some shit we just coming up with crazy ideas today. But it's all fake. Let me know your thoughts, man.
Yo, in case you have not heard, living animals are being affected because of AI. A Texas farmer is claiming that every calf born since the data centers has arrived have all been stillborn. And if this keeps going on, this can literally be detrimental. Here's a clear illustration of what this actually looks like. These are called EMF frequency waves. And basically these are waves that we cannot see with our eyes, but these frequencies can have a negative effect on things like animals, especially if they're newborn. It can't be a coincidence that the animals that's being affected is near these new AI data centers. It's similar to when 5G towers first came out, and there was huge warnings that this would have a direct effect on us because of the same thing, EMF frequencies. But my main concern is, what does the future of this look like? Right now it's just newborn calves, but will this continue to affect other species, especially as more AI data centers are being built? As of right now, there's already almost 2,000 built in the US and almost 5,000 built nationwide. So more power is going to be needed to sustain this. And that explains why this article came out saying that AI power demand is pushing the US grid towards an energy crisis. And AI data centers also rely 70% on oil and gas, which is also polluting the air at the same time. Now, when stuff like this happens, there's always two sides to a story. It's the average people and animals suffering from things like this.
I gotta say this. The sad part is, bro, they pushing us more and more towards bullshit when they could just get free energy from the ether. So you rather harm everything and risk the chance of everything going to shit when you know that's how it all played out. And we still go this route? It makes no sense. Like, it does not. It's almost like they're ready to self-destruct themselves, so they self-destruct us too. The shit makes no sense. Bro, I seen a comment. Someone said we tripping about cell towers being around the neighborhoods. In the Yonkers, they said that they on top of buildings and apartments. It's crazy work. Oh, bro. Let me know your thoughts, man. Again, it's for entertainment.
So I talk about a lot of scary things on this page, but nothing, and I mean nothing, will ever top my fear of the Amazon River. Did you know the Amazon River is one of the most dangerous places on earth? It is massive, stretches all the way from Peru, ending in Brazil. There are creatures that live within these waters that haven't even been discovered yet or touched by humans because they're unreachable. And what's even crazier about all that stuff I just said is the fact that my mom actually grew up there, and the stories that she has will literally send chills down your spine. So I'm gonna share them with you guys. So to start off, my mom lived in the Amazons from the time she was 7 years old up until she was 9. My grandmother actually owned a restaurant at one of the ports. This port had a bunch of different boats that would come throughout the day, and they would do exchanges. This is how they were able to get supplies in and out. She says that after 6 p.m. no one was allowed anywhere near the water because the creatures that would come out of this water were literally looking for any little chance they could get to snatch you up, and they were usually looking for humans. She tells the story of this old man that was rowing his boat across the river to get to the port because he was going to sell plantains. So he had this old wooden boat that he was rowing, when out of nowhere he started to feel like turbulence under his boat. So he started to row faster and like, oh my god, I don't know what's going on, like he's just trying to get to the shoreline, when out of nowhere this massive animal comes out of the water. She says they used to call this animal La Manta because it was in the shape of a blanket. It was like this massive blanket, thick blanket that came out of the water and then just wrapped itself around the man and the boat and took the man and the boat down with it. The only thing that ever came back up was the boat, because the boat was made out of wood and it floated, but the man was never seen from again. My mom also says that this was a normal occurrence of having random boats just showing up to the shore empty because the occupants obviously never made it across the river. She says that this was so normal that people were desensitized to it, so whenever they would see an empty boat, they would just say rest in peace and keep it moving. She says this was like a daily event. She told me a bunch of other stories that I can make a whole separate video about, but the main reason they ended up having to move after 2 years was because it was very huge in that area. Like little kids were going missing left and right. Since my grandmother owned a restaurant, my mom and like her sister, her older sister, would help out. She has an older sister who was 14 at the time. There was a man that wanted to buy her off of my grandmother. He told my grandmother that he would give her this amount of money, and in exchange he would take her and give her a good life. My grandmother of course declined, and she was like, you're not taking my daughter anywhere, like she's 14 years old. This man then became obsessed with my aunt and would show up at the restaurant, would follow them. It got to the point where my grandmother became so like worried that she moved, because she was worried that one day they were going to break into her house and take her daughter. My mom also talks about the indigenous people that would come in like from the jungle, that lived deep within the jungle. They would come out, sell their stuff, and they would be back home before 11 a.m. Let me know if you guys want a part 2.
Ask yourself, why was there a UFO at Jesus' baptism? That's not an angel. Those are beams of light coming from a disc. They didn't even know what UFOs were back in 1710 when this was painted. When we enhance it, this is what it looks like. That's clearly a UFO witnessing Jesus' baptism. Why would the person who painted this put a UFO at the scene of Jesus' baptism? This is not how angels are depicted in the Bible. Was this event so important that beings from another world had to witness it? Stay weird.
That one might make some people upset. You know how often that happens and we just don't look?
Strange creatures have been appearing all over the world.
Like we got Harry Potter in real life, bro.
Placer County Sheriff's deputies say 41-year-old Lloyd Cecile Gary Jr. of Sacramento traveled to West Roseville on Monday to meet with what he believed was a young girl he met online. Special operations detectives watched as he went to the meeting location and then arrested him. In the process, deputies say he smashed his cell phone to try and get rid of the evidence, but that data was later recovered. The sheriff's office says Gary has a criminal history that included minor. He's being held at the South Placer Jail on a $460,000 bail.
I've actually never seen anything like this. I mean,
or in your car.
It feels as though Islam is taking over the West. Would you agree?
Yeah, they are. Inshallah, soon. Inshallah, soon.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
world will become
Yeah.
Muslim. Yeah.
Yes.
as we've taken over the country officially, England's over. Allah. Yeah, what are we lining up for? This is historical. This is
London. This is how many mosques are around me. This is what the sign looks like when you get off the train here. These are the advertisements you see. This is what it looks like when kids get out of school. This is what the political candidates look like. This is what it's like walking through the grocery store here. The UK has become unrecognizable.
Back in 2020, a group of friends on TikTok made a video using Randonautica. Before the app generates you a location, it asks you to focus on an intention. Basically, it's something you're hoping to find, and in this case, they only used one word, friend. Now there's no real proof that your thoughts affect the location you're given, but once you're looking for something specific, your brain starts connecting dots and seeing meaning in things that might just be coincidence. However, what they were about to find in this building may be too hard for you to dismiss. Take a look. You can see, as she's exploring the abandoned building, she notices a mural on the wall, and it looks exactly like her. It's almost as if the app intentionally led them to a painting of her. Now, the original account that posted this video has since been deleted, which honestly makes it even more strange. But I'm curious about this one. Let me know what you think.
I don't believe in coincidences. Y'all even said this about yard sales too.
Te verán ahora. La gasolina es un químico y mucha gente no lo sabe. ¿De qué? Yo lo voy a llenar de agua. Tengo 3 meses haciendo este químico. 3 meses. Hasta que le salga bien, mira que se llenó. Para que vean. Entonces, ¿qué pasa? Mira aquí. Entonces, mire, ahí yo tengo que conectar la manguera en la I del vaina, enfócame ya. Exacto, mira, entonces lo enfoco, le conecto aquí. Mierda. Espérate. Ok. Entonces, mire, si yo le doy ahí, él no va a prender. No puede prender. Porque el agua sola no va a prender. Ahora, baquen aquí. Me voy a Boca Chica. Entonces, a ver ahora.
So I heard about this clip. I got to finally see it. Backstory on it. Shout out to Gabby for sending this. I think that was in Puerto Rico. Doing the same thing Plastoline was doing. Same thing. Pretty much got his motorcycle to run off water or plastic. Pretty much not gas. And when he got it to work, supposedly he no longer with us no more. Let me know y'all thoughts, man. Let me know y'all thoughts. That shit happens every time, don't it? Entertainment purposes only.
Anunnaki and reptilians are cousins. So is the Greys. So now you're going to understand bloodline battles. Do you understand bloodline battles now? This has been a bloodline battle thing for a long time. So what originally happened was the reason why Lucifer became a fallen angel is because he fell in love with Lilith. Lilith was reptilian bloodline. Back then, when you're thinking about species, aliens, you're not supposed to crossbreed. You're supposed to keep your blood as pure as possible. So think about how they took my people and started shifting them off to create and make races stronger. It started off at the beginning of that. So when Lilith and Lucifer became in love with one another, Ra casted him out.
Because they weren't supposed to crossbreed?
They were not supposed to crossbreed. They were not supposed to crossbreed at all.
This shit sound like some families today. People don't want to crossbreed.
It's a soul thing.
So you think it's embedded in some people's souls?
It's embedded because it's a part of the original creed of human, like creating humans. So regardless of how much you want to change it, whatever language you want to use to make it sound better, you still got soul contracts.
Of reptilians who came to Earth, known as the Draconians, who came from the constellation of Draco, the constellation of the dragon. They originate on Earth and are sons of the goddess Tiamat, the goddess of dragons, and thousands of years ago, they learned to navigate the stars. Being sons of the goddess Tiamat, they thought they were the owners and had more rights over the earth. This led to a war against the Anunnaki for humans and Earth's resources. And in the war with the Anunnaki, the reptilians began to use advanced technology, and they dropped a bomb to end all life on Earth and only keep the Earth's resources. And it was worse than they expected, and the result was a winter on Earth for more than 200 years. That's why the Bible says that the earth was void and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep, and the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters.
Now he need to keep going. He need to keep going.
Have you seen that one theory that Benjamin Franklin might have been like a serial? What? Yeah, so back in 1776, I guess he lived in London at this one house, and then he moved back to America or whatever. And during 1998, they wanted to make the house into like a museum. So while they're renovating the place and they, they're digging it up, like they're going underneath it, bro, they find pretty much like a room with no windows in it with 15 skeletons inside of it.
What the?
And children skeletons.
Oh, what the?
So hella people have theorized that he might have been a serial and he killed other people and hid their bodies underneath his house.
Yo,
he was damn near like
I'm saying, bro, on the low.
Yeah.
Wait, Benjamin Franklin, was he the guy who did the kite shit?
Yes, he's on the $100 bill.
Oh my god, wait, the guy who did the kite is the $100 bill?
Yeah, weird.
Why is he there? And he's a.
Yeah.
Do you see what we're doing here in America?
Do you see? Some people like to not look at shit like that, though.
Y'all not gonna lie, yo, the government might just come get me for this, bro. So, like, if anything happen, bro, just better believe, bro, like, nah, bro, I would never. So, like, I'm about to tell y'all some shit, right? Sleeping. Number one is about sleeping, my nigga. Like, what is that, bro? Like, what the you sleeping, bro? Like, that's the closest thing to dying, my nigga. Real shit. Like, bro, not even just sleeping, bro. Sometimes I don't understand, like, damn, when you sleep and you don't have dreams, it's just like you just remember yourself going to sleep and just waking up. You don't remember when you was asleep, my nigga? Like, you don't even be knowing when you going to sleep when you dozing off, cuz. Like, a nigga gotta literally be like, yo, get up, yo, you sleeping, yo. And have your dumb ass really just sit there looking like, yo, I wouldn't even sleeping, yo. But like, clearly a nigga be sleep, like, don't even be knowing that they sleep. You feel me? Like, it be like, damn, dummy. Like, where was you just at in your brain, dummy? And then dreams, bro. Like, explain them bitches, bro. A nigga be having dreams, bro. That shit is another dimension, my nigga. You not telling me no different, bro. That's you in another place, bro. That's your soul leaving out your body, bro, going somewhere else, bro. You just don't know about it, bro, but they do, dog. And nobody talk about this shit, bro. Nobody talk about sleeping, but everybody just talk about death. And it's crazy because I was just watching some Joe Rogan shit, bro. Joe Rogan, my nigga Joe Rogan, bro. He said, people be scared to die, but people is not scared to go to sleep. I said, oh shit, bro. Dummy, I don't want to sleep no more. Second bluffing, I'm going to sleep after this, probably. But still, though, like, shit crazy, bro. Like, if you ever think about that, bro, like, damn, bro, like, when you go to sleep, bro, you basically, like, dead without, like, commitment, you feel me? Like, you basically, like, dead without, like, committing to, like, staying asleep forever. Like, you just in competition with yourself. Like, you not in competition with yourself type shit. Like, you definitely not on the shit, like, yeah, I ain't gonna lie. Let's see who, can sleep the longest, bro. You feel me? Like, nobody doing no competitions like that, bro. I'm pretty sure nobody's doing no goofy ass shit like that, you feel me? But damn, yo, like, just think about that shit, bro. That shit really real. That shit me up a little bit.
I remember that clip. Make a lot of sense.
I've had men that have cheated on their wives and their side pieces get pregnant and they want me to cause that. Not my problem.
You mean like take the baby out?
They do that, and that's possible. But you don't do that because again, that's also because children are karmic lines connected to each soul. So if you take that child from them, that's going to be your karmic thing to burden later down the road. So be careful, because a lot of people think, oh, children are blessings, and they're not. They're karmic cycles. Children are here to break a karmic thing, and that's why they're so suffering and they're not burdens, but they put a lot of pain in things because they're here to teach you something about you and you about themselves. So children choose their parents and parents choose their kids because we're a byproduct, and we have to break those curses, those things, and it's all a plan. So that's where it all, and a lot of people are like, oh, and a lot of times when people, they want to just, like I said, they want to come and cause harm. Everything I go through divination tools. I talk to spirit, I talk to things. I can already tell when a person is full of shit. I always tell when a person is acting out of ego and revenge rather than just. So I've had people that just, like I said, oh, he cheated on me, or you know what, I want to do harm on the side woman because the whole time the side woman didn't even know she existed. They're quick to attack the woman instead of leaving the man.
That's some real shit right there.
Yeah, now the other third type that got mentioned on Mission was reptilians. But every time that they were mentioned, it was really quickly hushed up by whoever else was on the other end of the line. Shut up, don't say that, is what they were doing.
They don't want to talk about the
They don't want to talk about the reptilian presence at all. They would talk about the tall whites and the grays being in the lab environments. You know, not a lot, but some. But these reptilians, it was like nobody wanted to talk about it.
Was there any sort of an explanation did anybody give you of why they don't want to talk about it?
No, the only time I got any inkling was that when I, was out of the program and other people started to talk to me about all the different, things. And they're like, well, how many races are there? I don't know. But some people talked about the reptilians. They're like, do you realize that these are evil? And I had to listen to that.
We don't know if it's because of their appearance. You would assume something that's reptilian is maybe a demon or whatever. In the Nordic, where the blonde hair, blue-eyed is considered like an angel, or is it that's just our perception? Mm-hmm. But that's what you hear.
Well, every reptile here is evil. Right? You ever seen a Komodo dragon eat a goat? It's horrific. They're monsters. Every single reptile is a monster.
Yeah,
that's here. There's not one cuddly reptile you can hang out with, cuddles with you. He brings you your newspaper in the morning. No.
I thought that was funny because the lady was like, my snake sleeps with me every night. And the guy says, no, it's laying next to you because it's sizing you up for eventually a chance when it's going to eat you. I was like,
one day it's going to eat you. You have a monster that you feed. And as long as you keep feeding, it won't eat you. Yeah. People with pythons for pets.
Credibility. I did do some research after that person talked to me, because I did see that there is a reptilian race that is very malign like that, and they even have, according to what I read, this one race has a penchant for blood for some reason. It's like a shark frenzy with them. They have
like a real reptile.
It's a euphoric experience for them. Yeah, a reptilian race that does that.
Shit sound like a vampire to me, bro. What y'all think?
Something that I believe in that others might call me crazy for is I believe that the majority of trends on TikTok are designed to trick you into training AI. And I think the latest example of this is the trend where you say a phrase in different tones. Like, I feel like this is clearly designed to train AI. Am I crazy?
I didn't even know about that trend.
Do you remember learning that Germany blew up the Statue of Liberty? Yeah, me neither. Yeah, so in 1916, one of the defining reasons why the United States entered World War I is actually because Germany attacked the Statue of Liberty, and 7 people died, hundreds were injured, and it caused hundreds of millions of dollars of damage. Do you remember learning that? To this day, we still commemorate Oklahoma City, Pearl Harbor, 9/11. We remember every attack that's ever happened on U.S. soil, but somehow this attack on the Statue of Liberty that brought us into World War I just wasn't taught in school, and I would say 99% of the public has never heard of it. Is an example of the U.S. education system being trash, or is this another Mandela effect, where we've just entered a timeline where things have happened that nobody remembers? And those renovations that took place on the torch, that wasn't just because. I remember the renovations that happened in like the 70s and 80s. You thought it was just because? No, those renovations were because of this attack. Like, how crazy is that? How is that not something people discussed? Like, oh, hey mom, why are they trying to fix the Statue of Liberty? Oh, we get attacked. How is that not a conversation? It was just a random thing that we did just to fix the Statue of Liberty. I just don't understand how this wasn't a bigger bullet point in American history. I don't understand that. I don't get it.
Here's the actual pictures of him in a Masonic lodge. You know, so him like doing rituals and all this stuff. This is documented. You can just look this up. So there's a club called Club 33 in Disneyland. Why do you have that?
The highest Mason is a 33rd Mason.
33rd degree.
Yeah, 33rd degree.
So he just chooses that number randomly, and that's a secret club in the French Quarters in Disneyland. Kind of weird. If you look at it, the Freemasons are, you know, very knowledgeable on geometry, sacred geometry. So if you look at Disneyland, this is how it's built. This is how they built it in a year. It's built on sacred geometry. What's the symbol of a Freemason? It's a compass.
Yeah.
Sacred geometry.
Yeah.
There you go. So he's definitely, and I think he's alive too.
Wait a minute. Walt Disney is alive?
That's what I think.
How is Walt Disney still alive?
So there's a theory that he is in cryogenic stasis, which means he's frozen.
I did hear something like that.
You heard about it, right?
Okay.
So if you're looking up Walt Disney Frozen, what do you get today?
The movie.
Now, why would they do that? To throw you off the beaten path of Walt Disney actually being frozen, because they're saying his head or his body is in cryogenic stasis, and then when he comes back, you know, they can revive him. Because he died, he was a chain smoker, right? So he died from smoking. He couldn't stop. So he was like, okay, put my body in cryogenic stasis, and then in the future,
bring me back.
Kanye was the first person I ever heard say the reason why they like the Walt Disney Frozen. So when you go search it, it's gonna show up the movie. Not no researching him. Same with Black Panther. He went through a list of a couple things. Let me know if y'all seen that video of Kanye saying that. That's the first person I heard say that, and I'm like, I gotta agree. I gotta agree with that. Got to.
This film stands as the highest rated horror movie of the year, offering a deeper meaning than you'd first expect. On the surface, it tells a terrifying story about a group of teenagers and how their attempts to access the spiritual world goes very, very wrong. At its core is Mia, a vulnerable teenager grappling with profound grief following her mother's sudden death, which she really struggles to accept. The intensity of her pain leads her to distance herself from her grieving father and her home. She starts to seek solace in her friends and parties as a means of escape. And during these parties, Mia and her friends introduce a strange figurine, a hand, into their home. They start beckoning spirits with the words, "Talk to me." These spirits manifest and, with their consent, will possess them, revealing the hand's true nature as an embalmed medium's hand and a gateway to the spiritual world. As the kids become aware of the potential dangers, they impose a 90-second possession limit. However, the spirits prove themselves to be clever, finding ways to surpass this restriction to latch on further, later tormenting Mia and her friends and manipulating them into making very questionable decisions. The meaning behind this film is incredibly dark, but it's also extremely sad and somber.
Do y'all remember him? It's funny because a lot of people don't know who this man is. This man's name is Christopher Dorner, and in 2013, I believe, he went on a killing spree of his fellow or his previous employer's family members because of all the corruption. And basically they did him dirty and fired him. I guess he wrote a whole manifesto before he did it. He was prior military, and I think he was in like specialized military, like black ops type stuff. And he ended up going to the LAPD. And you know what's even funnier? This all happened in California, Los Angeles County. I was in the process of becoming an LA County Sheriff's deputy. I literally had an interview during this whole time, and it ended up getting canceled. Not just mine, but everybody's, because of this dude was on the run and they were trying to look for him. Yeah. But thank God that it was canceled. Anyway, so what happened was he came out of the military. He got the job here. And he obviously was facing, they were dogging him out. I think he became somewhat of a whistleblower. And because of that, they fired him. And he felt very much like, oh, for real, they didn't know he was who he is. So what happened was he wrote a manifesto, because I think they really were they dogged him. He wrote a manifesto about all facing at the job and so on and so forth. And he went on the run. So he started taking out higher ups in the sheriff's department of the LAPD, and I believe in the sheriff's department, if I'm not mistaken. Their family members. I think he killed I think he killed 3 people. It was one of the people's daughters and her fiance. If he didn't kill them, they were shot. One of them was, I know at least 2 died. And then there was another person that he ended up taking out. Now, you're gonna you see a little bit online, but they're not really telling the whole thing. Now, I know someone that worked for the sheriff's department during this time. And when they finally caught up to him in that house in Big Bear, I think it was Big Bear in the mountains, that house that he set on fire himself, he said that over the radios, the police radios, they was over there talking about kill that N-word, get that N-word, all the things over that radio when that cabin was burning. And somehow his gun that he took himself out with, and this, I almost feel like this whole thing was fake, but it ended up being the gun used in another killing case. And I can't remember who it was, but it was a very big case where the same gun that he had, that he used to take himself out, was later recovered in another case. How did that happen? Anyway, though he was wrong, what he did ended up blowing up the spot. So there was some investigations done, and I have to try to remember who these two dudes were that ended up getting arrested and prosecuted. If any of you guys remember, please put it in the comments. It was like an Asian dude and a Hispanic dude that were way high up in the rankings, and they ended up getting arrested and prosecuted. I guess after some investigations. I don't know what happened, right? You can't hardly find nothing on it in the internet, and this might have been in 2013 or 14, maybe 15. But yeah. And so this is just a lesson. Everybody is not submissive and docile. You can't dog everybody and they just take it and move on with their life. You can't do that. He clearly was not one of them people. Was he wrong? Yes. But I also believe that we, the people, have been severely brainwashed into believing with political agendas, in believing that we are going to get justice without action. And he was clearly about that action. And this is not a thing. This is literally about we the people, black, white, Asian, Hispanic, or whatever. Because no matter what, we're all entrapped by this system and all the wickedness and evil stuff. Now we know the differences between the people and how, you know, how it affects us differently, and some of us more severely. But at the end of the day, it's all an illusion to think that you're going to escape this too. I just think we've all been deeply brainwashed into believing that we can't take it by force. And we can't.
That was amazing to see. I seen comments of people being like, oh, we won't show this, we won't show that. No, we're gonna show everything, bro. If I ever can get the chance and it gets through, if you send it to me, bro, we gonna get it out there. I seen a whole bunch of people who support that 3-letter agency get mad because I've shown clips of the 3-letter agency making mistakes. Bro, we gonna show that. We gotta show it. And they be like, bro, show this though. Well, we got that. I told you, we gonna show it all, bro. We gonna hit all the points. I told y'all that since day one, and we have not stopped that. Let me know y'all thoughts. That's dope to see. That's amazing to see. Let's see it all the time though.
I don't know if y'all seen this video, but this is insane. This video probably is trending all over the internet. But y'all, look at what this dude is going to do to his little baby son. Should be a crime. This should be a crime that any man or woman is taking their son and their daughter, which God have given them, and altering and removing things and changing things. How can a baby like this make a decision? No, it's these parents like this guy right here. He is accepting this, he is indicting this, and he's condoning this. And guess what? Your children, ladies and gentlemen, they're under spiritual attack. That's what it is. They're not born a certain way. They're not born flamboyant. It is a spiritual thing going on there. It is a unclean spirit, a spirit of confusion that is messing with your son and your daughter. And y'all are being foolish and saying, hey, I'm going to get him and her changed. I'm going to take him to the doctor. Messing and destroying their life. Y'all do need to get locked up in jail. You do need to go to prison for doing stuff like this. Why y'all don't talk about this? Y'all talk about everything else on the news. Y'all blast everything else out on the public. But why y'all won't talk about parents doing this to their sons and their daughters? It is grotesque. It is disgusting. And they can't even make a decision. They can't make a decision. They don't even know what they're doing. And you're doing it. But really what y'all parents doing, and I'm going to tell you what you're doing because everything is spiritual. Y'all are agreeing with those demons and with those spirits that is messing with your child, altering and destroying their. And because you are spiritually ignorant to what's happening, you want to just be their friend and you're helping them destroy themselves.
If an adult wants to change, do as you please. This is your life. Don't let nobody control that. That's your choice. It don't affect me. But a child? Your child? Bro, why would you? How about he change himself? Not his child. Let his child grow up and be his own person and choose that for himself. I feel like you gotta let kids be kids. And some things ain't, some things like topics like that ain't for kids to know about yet. You know what I mean? There's a time when you teach them and you explain these things, but bro, you don't just make everything okay and reachable for children. Some shit is just for adults. And this man is doing a little bit too much. There should be crimes for people. That should be a crime. But it's not. What world are we living in? Again, we got people making laws and choices, but shit like this ain't even brought up across the table. Maybe it is, but it ain't changed. So it don't matter if it's brought up across the table. It matters if something's being done to stop it or not. Let me know y'all thoughts. But they not doing nothing to stop it. They worried about all this other shit. It's crazy, bro. It's crazy.
The entire internet saying that Kai Cenat is a clone who sold his soul to the devil. Lately, you've probably seen people all over TikTok saying Kai Cenat is a clone or that he sold his soul to the devil. But I know people watching this video are wondering, like, where did these rumors even came from? Well, today I'm gonna tell you, but like before we talk about the rumors, let's talk about Kai Cenat for the people who don't know who he is. Kai Cenat is one of the biggest streamers in the world, known for being loud, energetic, and always joking around. But after Mafiathon 3, a lot of people started saying that he wasn't acting like himself anymore. Because instead of Kai streaming all the time after Mafiathon 3, Kai became more strict and like more serious. And he even took a break on streaming for a while to focus everything he has on his clothing brand that he was building up. And when he was focusing more on his clothing line, he started to post weird unedited videos of himself, which felt really different on what Kai Cenat was before, because his old streams were energetic and now he's posting like low-key content, like chill content, and people when watching this were like, what the hell is this, Kai Cenat? This is not you. And like when this was happening, even some creators were saying like, yo, this is not Kai Cenat. Kai Cenat would never do this. But then months later, Kai announced his Streamer University 2, a campus filled with streamers where they record 24/7 and taught how streaming works. And during the event, Kai seems like normal and like his old self again, until one clip changed it all, because security camera on the campus captured Kai Cenat doing like a weird dance. And this clip instantly went viral. And people started claiming that this dance was like a demonic dance that people use on like demonic rituals. And before long, conspiracy videos of Kai Cenat were everywhere saying that he's a clone and that he sold his soul. But guys, here's the actual truth though. Because the viral clip of him dancing by himself is actually got like taken out of context. Because Kai Cenat was actually dancing to the song This Is America. And like the singer that sang This Is America literally did the same dance of Kai Cenat. And like Kai Cenat was like listening to this song when he was like dancing to it. So like guys, come on now. He was just trying to copy his dance moves of the singer that sang the song. It's honestly crazy how fast the internet can turn a harmless moment into a full-blown conspiracy. I just know people that make conspiracy theories about Kai are unemployed, bro.
Y'all with him or y'all definitely disagree?
I even seen this video about this guy. I don't remember if he got into a car accident or something, but he couldn't use his legs anymore. He became paralyzed. He would like sit and close his eyes and envision his spine reconstructing. He was envisioning that, and he would sit there and do that for hours because he was just becoming hopeless. Like, damn, like this sucks, whatever. Bro.
Off the sheer willpower.
Off of the sheer willpower and him just believing and actually envisioning him fixing his spine. One day, bro, he calls his wife into the kitchen and he's standing up. Wow. And she damn near was like, what the
That's actually insane.
And that's a real story, yeah. And he ended up going on, I don't remember if it was Dr. Phil or some shit, but, and he even was talking about it, and he ended up making like this whole, technically like a class type thing, telling people like, bro, you need to expand your mind and understand, you know, you really believe this type of shit and you have the sheer willpower, bro. I think there's this weird thing in the universe of,
if you really do put your heart into something, bro, like something crazy like that, you know what I mean? Like, I think you probably really can, bro.
Yes.
The mind is a projection and your thoughts control the future.
A reptilian asked my grandfather for help in his ranch. Now this story is coming from Terror en Palabras. The video is titled Un reptiliano le pidió ayuda a mi abuelo en su rancho. If you want to go and listen to it in Spanish, if you don't know Spanish, let me translate this for you. So this guy says that this is a story that his grandfather would share with them and never changed, and he honestly doesn't care if you believe him or not, but he does want to share what happened. Apparently this happened in the north side of San Luis Potosí. So the grandfather never really believed in the paranormal or in witches or in UFOs or anything like that. He was the type of man that said that everything had an explanation. Until the night that something happened to him. So on this particular night, the grandfather had gone out to look for some cows that never came back to the corral. And he had a machete with him, a pew-pew, and a lamp when he was out there looking for the cows. And it was because in that area, a lot of coyotes would come down the mountains. As he was walking by the river, he noticed that there was a really big blue light that almost like fell from the sky, and he lost sight of it, but it looked like it landed around the trees in that ranch. He honestly thought that maybe a transformer had exploded, or that maybe somebody had accidentally crashed their car out of like a mountain or a hill. He decided to approach where he saw that light from, and as he got closer, he said that he could hear almost like an animal breathing, but having a really hard time breathing. As he got closer and he put his lamp towards where he could hear that breathing, he saw this being laying on the ground. It looked green and it had scales all over its body. He said that the arms were really long and it only had 3 fingers, and that its eyes were yellow. The grandfather immediately picked up his pew-pew, and that is when he saw this thing pick up one hand and say, "Don't shoot, please don't shoot." He explains that even the voice coming from this being was really strange because it was almost as if a lot of different voices was coming from this one thing. The grandfather stayed very still. He stayed in shock, and he also noticed that this thing wasn't moving its mouth the way that we do, but he could still hear him clearly and what he had said. He noticed that this thing had an injury on its chest, and he saw that there was like black liquid coming out. He also remembers that it smelled like burning metal. He again hears this thing say, "Please help me." The grandfather wanted to run, but he started to hear cars coming close to where they were. He explains how this reptilian also heard when there was cars approaching, and at this point he screamed at the grandfather, "Hurry, go and hide, they're gonna get you." He pointed to this abandoned warehouse that was in the grandfather's ranch, and he tells him, "Run and hide there." It was at this point that the grandfather doesn't know why, but he did decide to help this thing. The grandfather ends up putting a tarp over this reptilian and starts putting animal feed all around him. Minutes after hiding this reptilian, the grandfather says that 3 black trucks with no license plates show up to the ranch. Men came out of those trucks, but they didn't look like police or like military. They were all dressed in black. One of the men asked the grandfather if he saw something fall from the sky, and the grandfather just said no with his head. He didn't say it out loud. The men ended up walking all along the river, looked at the corral, looked inside the grandfather's house, and obviously they didn't find anything. When they were about to leave, this man tell the grandfather, "If you do find something, don't touch it, don't help it. That is not an animal and it could hurt you." The men ended up leaving. The grandfather waited a good minute before going back to this abandoned warehouse, and when he went back, he said that this reptilian was still alive. By this point, the grandfather had came back with water because he wanted to give it to this reptilian, but he didn't end up drinking it. The grandfather noticed when the reptilian got like a piece of charcoal, and he started drawing symbols on the ground. After drawing these symbols, he pointed to the sky and told the grandfather, "Not all of us are enemies, but they want you to think that we are." The grandfather, now being very curious, asked the reptilian who were these men, and the reptilian tells him, "It's the people that work with my species." The grandfather ends up staying there in that warehouse with the reptilian until they started to see morning light come. The grandfather explains that there was also an additional light coming from the sky, and that the reptilian got up and started walking as well as he could, but before leaving towards this light, he put his hand on the grandfather's chest and tells him, "Your family will be protected." And then the light got brighter and the reptilian just completely disappeared. He explains how he followed the light to the sky and it just got lost in between clouds. The grandfather never talked about this incident for years after it happened, and the only reason why he decided to share the story with the family was because a fire had started in that area. It was really, really bad. A lot of people lost their homes, their animals, like everything that they had, except for him. The fire, it was almost like it couldn't get to his house, it couldn't get to his animals, and when everything had stopped, you know, the fire, they were able to put everything out, they found some weird symbols surrounding the grandfather's ranch. It was that day that the grandfather knew that what the reptilian said, that his family would be protected, was true, and basically because he helped the reptilian helped him as well. Now, the guy sharing the story does say that his grandfather has passed already, which is why he wanted to share this story with everyone. But what do you guys think?
Y'all think the fallen angels created those craters or not?
Okay, all me four-leggedy binkies. We got something strange seen in the sky over Las Vegas. Lights in the sky during the day. I know there's lights in the sky over Vegas all the time, but not like this. No, no, no. And not during the day. Let me just show you. Now, residents of Las Vegas recorded this, and at first it just looks like a few lights, but it gets weird. Really weird. Just keep looking at it, because they're moving around, and something's coming the other way. Lights are coming the other way, and it almost looks like some type of explosion. Like that. Except it's not an explosion, but it's something else. It's something weird. And like I said, this doesn't happen every day in Vegas, or anywhere else for that matter. And for the people who are disagreeing with me, saying it's just a Vegas light show, no, it's not. They don't do it during the day over a residential neighborhood. Whatever this is, whatever this was, is strange, scary, and still unexplained, baby cakes. So let me know what you think down there in the comment section. Till next time, shabadoo booshkies, shabadoo.
I kind of feel like two things are at war, maybe.
Are there 9 trillion prisoners in the United States? Out on the side of the road, just building shit, singing and humming and shit, picking cotton. We need Harriet Tubman and Nat Turner. We need them back because slavery ain't gone no damn well. The 13th Amendment is insane. You mean to tell me that you can commit a crime and you're now an indentured servant for perpetuity? That is not corrections. That's slavery. Don't get me wrong. I think criminals of all demographics deserve all the punishments they get. You do the crime, you gonna do the time. I got zero issues with people getting what they have earned. Hammurabi code for an eye. Hey, you earned it, nigga. But you can't tell me locking a nigga up in a 3x4 cell for 35 years for stealing a loaf of bread is really gonna fix society. It's archaic. At the least, it's barbaric. Yes, these are criminals. I totally understand, and these niggas have committed crimes, and they need to be locked up. But there's got to be a way we can reform these individuals so they can return to society. Now, them weird-ass niggas that bite people in traffic and stab niggas, hey, burn them niggas. Put them niggas in a damn gulag. I don't give a damn where you got to put them. Lock them. Throw away the Hannibal Lecter them niggas. Give them the mask. I don't give a them honey mustard chicken nuggets in a damn cage. I don't give a But if you got caught with if you was damn breaking a red light, if you was damn stealing to feed your family, there's no reason why you should be spending 8 years in the court system. I'm not forgiving criminality. I'm all for reformation. There needs to be a way to reintegrate these crazy ass niggas back into society so we ain't got to keep paying these weird ass niggas to watch them all year long. How's it cheaper to take care of a prison system this ingratiated across the country? Slavery has ended, the South has lost the war. No, it's not. The Confederacy is the damn corrections office. It's nothing but forced slave labor. I don't know how many times I can say it in this video because I know I can hear y'all already. Oh, he's saying criminals should get it easy. Criminals should get off. They should never have to go to jail. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is jail should not look like 1833. There's no reason why niggas should be hanging from the wooden stocks when you walk into a prison. You take a nigga who's committing crimes because he's starving, hungry, he's destitute, he's crazy, he's disenfranchised, he's uneducated for whatever reason. Whatever fucking reason. You take him and you lock him in a cage. A cage. for 8, 9, 10, 15, 30, 78, 45, 45, 47, 42, 35, 47, 48 years. You give them nothing to do but lift weights and try not to get stabbed? Come on, miss me with that bullshit. You gonna say, oh, we're wasting resources on criminals. What are you talking about? We're wasting resources on them now.
Shout out to Julian Cross, man.
So nobody gonna talk about this? After nearly 20 years, Oprah is talking about she's closing her leadership academy in South Africa. So first, you gotta ask yourself, why now? And they say over them nearly 20 years, she graduated 1,000 students. But none to show for it? Now, I done heard some shit about that academy. Now, I'm not here to say it's true or not. But what a lot of people were saying was, a lot of girls was going missing in that academy. It's also people saying there's been a lot of years of, nearly 20 years of it. I'm here to say, I don't know if that's true, but that's what people were saying. Even back in 2007, there were women that came out and said they were being abused. But again, I don't know if that's true, but all I really want to know is, where's any of the girls that supposedly graduated from this academy? Then you got to do the math. Only 1,000 girls graduated within nearly 20 years?
This is witchcraft, bro. It's right in front of your face. You don't even see it. They're lying to you. They're lying to everybody. The human sacrifice rituals are war. But do you know the root word for soldier is 2 words? Soul dyer. Huh. Soul dyer. One whose soul goes to die. That's the root word for soldier. It ain't a good thing. They make you seem like, oh, soldier's a good guy. No, fool. You are a human sacrifice. Surprise. That's what you are. You are a soul dyer. One whose soul goes to... Bro, the Marine Corps? Or is it the Marine Corpse? Huh. Pretty funny. Why do they spell it that way? You know? So like these things perpetuate occultism, and we normalize it, and we normalize it. And then what happens when you normalize the wickedness? You can't tell what is of God or not. So you don't even know. You're clueless to it because you've got it absorbed in your psyche, in your mind, in your spirit, in everything around you. To understand God, you have to be in a place where you are uncompromised in your spirit. You're not doing things that conflict with you. When you conflict in your spirit, bro, that's distortion, and Satan comes in.
Did you know that every single thing that's happening today is due to one single car taking a wrong turn over 100 years ago? Everything that is happening in Russia and Ukraine, in the Middle East, threat of nuclear war, the rise of China, all of it due to one car taking a wrong turn in 1914. This is not some conspiracy theory or obscure knowledge. You all learned it in school. It's just that at least my teachers did not dwell on how incredibly weird this was. So even if you're not any kind of a history nerd, you know from school that World War I started due to an assassination. In my experience, most of you could even name the guy who got assassinated. It was the Archduke Franz Ferdinand. We do not have the several thousand hours it would take to give you the context of all of this. But what most of us heard in school is that a young 20-year-old assassin ran out and shot this politician. That then triggered a regional war, but the problem was all of the countries involved in this war had alliances with these military superpowers, and so suddenly everyone was at war. In other words, we were taught all of Europe was a powder keg, and then one random idiot lit the fuse. But the details of this story are so weird and the implications so monumental that it kind of gives me a migraine to think about it. First of all, the guy that did the shooting, Gavrilo Princip, was not just a lone radical. And in fact, this was part of an orchestrated attack. There were actually 6 assassins who had been planted along the route that they knew this guy's motorcade was going to take. So when the Archduke is traveling along this route with his motorcade and all of his security detail, one of the other assassins throws a bomb at him. The bomb bounces off the back of the car and blows up the car behind him. Like 20 people were injured, and then the Archduke's vehicle speeds away to safety. All of the assassins all run away. Some of them get arrested. Like that was it. The assassination attempt had failed. So the Archduke just continues doing the stuff he had scheduled that day, like he was supposed to go meet with the mayor at the town hall. I mean, he's literally complaining to the mayor, you know, you've got people throwing bombs at me in your city. So one of the assassins, the 20-year-old Gavrilo Princip, is just wandering around like, well, that didn't work. So he goes and sits at a cafe which is positioned near a bridge. He thinks, well, maybe when they're leaving town they'll take this route, I'll have another chance. But that is not what happened. The Archduke decides after the thing at the town hall, we should go to the hospital and visit all of the people who got wounded in the bombing. So they head that direction, but his driver takes a wrong turn. Somebody else in the car tells the driver, no, the hospital is that way, so he stops and puts the car into reverse, and that causes the engine to stall. Right next to where Gavrilo Princip is standing. To the assassin, it had to have seemed like divine intervention. The car with your target just parks right in front of you, and he just walks right out and shoots him. That assassination, of course, started the dominoes that triggered World War I, and World War I completely redrew the entire map of the world, including the Middle East. Do you understand that without World War I, all of these borders are in different places? Without World War I, you don't get the rise of communism. You don't get the Soviet Union. And I know what somebody is going to say. All of these countries hated each other. They had all been building up their militaries for years. They were going to go to war eventually, whether or not that assassination happened. But a World War I that starts under different circumstances at a different time, whether months or years later, almost certainly has a different outcome. So much of what I just described in terms of how the modern world was affected by this was due to specifically how that war played out. If the circumstances had been a little bit different one way or the other, maybe, for example, the United States doesn't enter the war. And if just a couple of things are different, Germany wins. In which case, you don't get World War II. Kids, do you understand? Without World War I, Hitler is just some guy. Without that assassination, without that car stalling on that street, there's a very good chance that you don't get the Holocaust or the atomic bomb. That car stalling at that moment on that street was such a pivotal moment that it is impossible to imagine what the world would look like today without it. And I know that history is full of these butterfly effect moments. What if Hitler had died of his wounds at the Battle of the Somme? What if Genghis Khan hadn't died from falling off his horse? But in terms of random coincidences that changed the lives of almost everyone on the planet, it is hard to beat this.
Do you remember that video that China released of the Tianzhou 9 scraping upon the firmament? Funny thing, Tianzhou is roughly translated to heavenly vessel. And another thing, have you noticed how every single rocket shoots up and then starts curving, following an arched trajectory, almost like it's avoiding something above? My theory is that it's avoiding the firmament, because we cannot leave the closed system that we are in. So they are basically mocking us by loading some hollow phallic with a bunch of helium, shooting it up into the air, making it either hit the firmament and blow up or scrape the firmament, or it just avoids it completely and then falls down into the ocean. That's the thing. I lived in Florida. Yes, they actually launch rockets, but they are not going to outer space. And have you noticed how every single time a rocket reaches outer space, it's suddenly CGI? Just like the rocket launch that we just had on April Fool's. Guess what? Now that they're in space, oh, it's computer-generated images. I wonder why. Probably because the entire concept of outer space is completely false. Google rockets in space. Every single image is a computer-generated image. Why is that? That's because there is no outer space. There is the firmament, and then past the firmament is the metaphysical, God's domain. You cannot go there. Elon Musk is even posting CGI videos of his phallic launching and landing. But I made this video for entertainment purposes only.
Outer space is space outside the ice walls.
What if we only live in the reality where the world doesn't end? Hear me out.
What do you mean?
How many times has the world almost ended?
2012, that was one.
No, like, think about it. Many different occasions, different times. Like, how many times were they talking about nuclear war? They were talking about that shit in the 70s, 80s, right?
Okay.
They're still talking about it now. They talk about it in like early 2000s. They always have that, you know? And there are times like I'm pretty sure it got hot.
Yeah.
Now, what if we only live in the reality where it doesn't happen? Because somebody changes the dimension to the reality where it doesn't.
Yeah.
Like they manipulate our current reality and be like, boom, we're headed this direction. Let me steer us in the right.
Who would be able to do that though?
Somebody that can control it. That's why they're messing up the Mandela effects. What if the reason so many Mandela effects are coming out is because of that?
Word.
So many new ones are coming out because they're steering us in the directions like, oh, it's getting hot.
Yeah.
Okay. So y'all, I'm talking with the cop, and he was saying, well, first he was talking to his partner. He was like, I need some hollow points. And I looked over at him and he was like, yeah, I need some hollow points. I was like, nah, man, you don't need no hollow points. Let them live. Let them live. And he was like, nah, what I'm talking about is for bear hunting. And I was like, oh, okay. And I was like, yeah, a hollow point to put a hole in somebody. And he was like, yeah, I do a lot of exotic hunting. And I was like, okay, what else you hunt? He was like, I used to hunt people. And I was like, I thought he was joking at first, but the whole time he is not smiling. He was like, yeah, I used to hunt people. He was like, we let them loose. And I think he said 1,000 acres. 1,000-acre field or whatever, give them 24 hours and go find them, go hunt them down. And he was like, what you got to understand is what's legal and what's law is not the same thing. He was like, you got to go do your research on that. And I pushed the conversation past that, but this is a cop telling me this. I was like, and he was not playing at all. And he was like, do you know where you live? I was like, yeah, we in Texas, we in America. He was like, no, this is Morocco. America's the corporation. So he was like, what's legal and what's law is two different things. You ain't in America. America's just a corporation. And he was like, you need to go do your research on that too. And I was telling him how I was attacked by a cop on Juneteenth. And he was like, yeah, you could sue him. He was completely in the wrong once I told him and showed him that video. But yeah, he was saying, around here it's very corrupt, very the police is very protected by lawyers, by the hospitals, right? So if they shoot you or whatever and you go to the hospital and die, the hospital gonna say that your cause of death wasn't because you got shot, right? They gonna say whatever they need to protect the cop. And I was like, nah, trust me, I seen that. Like, they was making it hard just for me to make a police report. But man, I was like, man, let me get off here. I could catch a bus from here. That dude was crazy. And he is a cop.
Damn. Appreciate the cop for the knowledge. But the fact that he still has that in his body to go do exotic hunting like that is crazy. And we already seen that happen. But what's law and what's legal? Two different things. That's some crazy shit. For him to say Morocco and then turn around and say America's the corporation, to those who always say America's not a corporation and this is not a plantation, what's y'all thoughts to that? Please like, comment, subscribe. Hit that bell so you always notified whenever we drop them uploads. Y'all know we come up with about 4 videos every smooth 7. This is for entertainment purposes as well. And when you like and comment and subscribe to the channel, helps Glad to grow, helps Glad to get bigger, helps more people who like this type of content tap in with this content. I appreciate you for watching ETV, whatever the case is. I wish it was smooth 7. Don't forget to like and share and hype the video as well. So I'll see y'all in the next one. Y'all know what it is. We gone.
Ay, yeah, I just check my account. Sheesh, at the amount. You probably